Okay, guys. Yeah, really, I'm really great to have you on the show. This is this is something that I've actually been trying to creatively come up with just to talk about Robert R. Kelly. Probably one of our especially from the 90s, one of our sort of greatest songwriters, singers, producers. So I wanted to tackle this subject in sort of three categories. One as a professional therapist who works with children under 20,
Mm,
and understanding what he's been convicted of.
mm,
But I also want to then look at him as a music fan, which is different. But then I also wanted to also reflect on how it was being yourself being a recording artist in the 90s and seeing R. Kelly as a contemporary, as a colleague, a contemporary and stuff. So that we can just get just a holistic side to it, and then we just round up by mentioning that it's whether it is possible to separate the person from the personality and what they've done from the creativity, the music or the arts and stuff.
mhm.
um but as I wanted to start off with, I wanted to start off with, as a therapist, one of the things that okay, actually, instead of just starting off with the abuse stuff, I wanted to start off as a fan, and just to say that I do remember um, when his debut album came out, R. Kelly and Public Announcement, and I didn't like Vibe. I thought, my goodness, this is Guy Part Two, and then he even because in the midst of this, he does mention Teddy, and he seems to be copying. So I was really didn't like the tracks because I thought he was copying Guy, which is my favorite group. But
Mm,
then he started to come out with Mr. DJ and Honey Love, and I'm like,
yeah.
whoa, okay, this is not what Guy is doing, and they
Mhm.
took it to a different level. Then he came out with was it 12 Play or R. Kelly second? I can't remember if I look
Um, I think it
if
was 12 play.
it
Yeah,
came out
12
with,
play came
yeah,
out, yeah.
he
And
came
that's
out
when he
with,
came back with the ball head.
yeah, he came out with 12 Play, and that completely just like, wow, okay, not, Guy had finished, and Jodeci was still out there. Then he came with R. Kelly, then R and two, then it was just hit after hit, and he was producing and stuff, and I don't know. So as a contemporary, what was it like, when he came out with either the R. Kelly Public Announcement or 12 Play?
And when he came out with R. Kelly and Public Announcement, remember he was on that show before they came out. It was Natalie Cole's Big Break.
Oh,
And my
okay.
dad was a big fan of Nat King Cole, Natalie Cole's dad. So we used to sit there and watch the show just to see Nat King Cole's daughter on the show. And she's a great artist in her own right too, but just watch her hosting the show. And then these guys came out, R. Kelly and his group. I think they would call themselves MGM back then or
Oh,
something.
the MGM. That was
And they
okay.
actually
Yeah,
won.
that was
Yeah, they
before
won
Public
that
Announcement.
show. So
Yeah,
then when they
okay.
came out with Vibe, I'm like, that's the same guys that was showing my pop. Like, that's the same guys that was on the show. And I had got that album, loved it. And because to me, he did the production wise, he sounded like Guy,
Yeah.
but his singing partly sounded like Marvin Winans too. Like a lot of it sounded like the
Oh.
Winans. Like remember the interlude he had on the what you call on the R. Kelly one? Back in the days I used to say, can I get with you today? You told me. He was singing like the Winans. Then no, Robert, no way, no how. Not today. I'm like, that sound like if the Winans was singing R&B music, that's what they would sound like. So I
Wow.
thought that was so dope. And he actually did a song with them. I think they peeped it too, because he did a song with them called Payday on the same album that Teddy did a friend on that
No,
album.
he
So
no
he actually worked with them.
he did the second album. So
It was the second one?
it
Okay.
was the second album. Yeah. So it wasn't, yeah, because Teddy did the first one in 1990. So their second album,
Okay.
they yeah, Gene Griffin got involved, so they couldn't get Teddy, so they went to R. Kelly,
That's when they
and
got all right.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah, so like just to hear, like that sound, I was just like it felt felt like familiar. It felt common to me because he sounded like church. Just same with Josie, like he sounded like church, but just singing for the ladies instead of singing for the good Lord. So it's
Yeah.
like the sound was very relatable. Like the runs and stuff was runs that we would have done in church. Like, oh, no, he didn't do that. Like all the church singers sitting there. No, he didn't do that on an R&B song. No, he didn't just do that. And he was just like so bold and unafraid to take it there with, like his singing and his style. And he would just say whatever he felt. He would say it in the song, like lyrics that, like before him, I felt like a lot of people would beat around the bush and they would say it, and that's not a bad thing. Like they would say certain things in a creative way. But when he came along, he would say it like raw, you know? Like I remember I had a shirt and I'm so surprised my mama let me wear it. I think that she didn't pay attention to it, but it was a shirt with the lyrics to 12 play on it. Wear that shirt, like, and take pictures of it and stuff and show girls. So it's like, hey, I don't got to do no talking. You just read the shirt. None of them trying to do none of that with me, but they say a guy could dream, but he
Yeah.
just said everything so raw and so, like, he just seemed like he's just an artist. Like that's what set him apart from other artists. Like he was just unafraid to be himself creatively and put out what he had to put out for the people, you know.
So as a fan, it just seemed like it was effortless for him just to be able to write and produce and then there's always this talk about he stole Aaron Hall's sort of singing style and stuff, but I think only when it was R. Kelly in public announcement, I think by the time he got to the 12 play and R. Kelly, he took things to another level, and it was the singing, the lyrics, and the production, which Aaron didn't have. And almost I think Aaron felt like he was straining to his singing voice, like he had to yell and put power. But R. Kelly just at
Think
that
so?
time, no. So this is after Guy. So this is when it just felt when I see our Aaron live, compared to R. Kelly, just felt like after he did the vibe and after he tried to be like Aaron, it felt like when he did 12 play, he didn't try and copy that as much. He felt like, well, I don't need to copy that. I'm in my own lane. I can be my own person. I have my own style of singing. He slowed it down, and Aaron was used to singing a lot more up tempo. And then even when Aaron came out with his debut album, the production, we love "I Miss You" and
Don't Be Afraid. The
"Don't
slow
Be
one.
Afraid."
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
goodness.
the slow one with
Oh
Gerald
my goodness.
Albright and stuff.
Don't be afraid. Oh my goodness, that
Ain't
man.
no need, ain't
To
no
this
way.
day, to
I
this day,
love
still
you.
play.
Yeah. That's
Yes, Lord.
yeah. I mean, that was perfect
I thought
production.
they were very different. I think that R. Kelly's took some key runs and stuff, and
Okay.
the biggest thing I think that R. Kelly really did to make people compare him to Aaron is cutting his hair bald. I think he had like the similar look to him, like I mean, just with the bald head and the goatee to just go
Yeah.
right
And
in.
the
I
cane.
didn't
Yeah.
think like sonically, I thought they were different. I thought he did some things that were similar to Aaron, but I thought that he had a style, and Aaron's style was just Aaron's straight church boy. Aaron's another one that's straight from church. You spoke with Damien. They family is like preachers and pastors and stuff. So Aaron
Yeah.
sounded like a church man, and R. Kelly sounded churchy on like the first two albums, but then once he started singing more his falsetto and stuff like "You will breathe again," he started doing all that. That didn't sound nothing like nothing that I ever heard Aaron do when he's doing the
Yeah.
falsetto and doing the storytelling with his songs and stuff. The whole trapped in the closet and stuff like that. But he said out his own mouth. I went to a show of his in Baltimore. Now one of my friends treated me to go see him when he came here. It was him, Case, and it was a lady from she's an actress. She's in Tyler Perry's a lot of Tyler Perry's productions. And she opened up for them. Demetria, I think McKinney is her
Okay.
name. But on that show, R. Kelly actually said out his mouth. He's like, I shaved my head bald and ended Aaron Hall's career. You know how he sing like that. That's so he was doing that. Like that was his thing. That was something that he was doing. It wasn't. I don't think it was on Aaron's side. I think Aaron was
Yeah.
just still doing him. I ain't see him look nervous or sound nervous or nothing. I think Aaron
Yeah,
was doing what he was doing, and I
yeah,
was doing. I looked at it as him creating controversy to make people talk. Because a lot of times you look at it like nowadays, and that started a little while ago, but now it's more people buy more into the story behind the artist than they do the actual music. Because there's a lot of people who make great music and nobody pays it bats an eye, but you get on a reality show and you create drama and you throw a drink in somebody's face or
yeah,
you get the
yeah, yeah.
scrapping at the studio, get the fighting and stuff like that. That's the stuff people respond to. So I think that the whole rivalry between them was more or less. Well, for me, it really hit me more as just like propaganda to get attention and sell records because the music on both sides for me spoke for itself. Like I didn't feel compelled to pick a side to where as though like, oh, well,
Mm,
they beefing, so I'm not gonna buy his, but I'm gonna buy his shit. I bought both of them. Me is like, hey, more good music. Keep on doing whatever y'all doing because I'm buying all of it and I'm playing it all when I got company. You
yeah.
feel me? I might make a mixtape and play them right behind each other, play them back to back.
But then,
I'll be at boat.
but then, as when Dru Hill came out, where was R. Kelly then? As a did you look and say, wow, that I know you because we've spoken in the past about Boyz II Men and Jodeci and how you guys revered them, but how did you, as a recording artist, when you now were signed to Def Jam and you guys had your hits with "In My Bed" and not promises and not tell me and stuff like that. How did you then? What was your view about seeing R. Kelly as a recording artist? Did you think, wow, he was on another level to you guys, or how did you guys see him at that stage?
He was pretty big by the time we came out, and we actually met him like right when we like no we met. I think I saw Kelly twice in my life, but the first time was it was a song that he put together, and I don't know what it was originally for, but it eventually ended up being on a soundtrack that he did for Princess Diana. What they
Oh,
did for Princess Diana is a song called Every Nation, and it's basically like it was like a We Are the World type feel.
yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah,
he
yeah.
took all the R&B acts that were out at that time, like it was like us, 112. That was the first time we met 112, I think. It was us, 112, SWV, what you call him? Curtis Mayfield was even there. He was in a
Wow.
wheelchair. He was at the top of the podium, like, because they had us all on a rise and singing like a choir. And he invited us. We were honored to be invited because he was definitely like already like a big star by that time. By the time we came on the scene, like '96, he was probably on like his third or fourth album. And it's like
Yeah.
before that, when I used to sing before, because like I don't know if I told you before, I think I did. The group, we were all like solo artists in our own right, and one guy was doing production and stuff, but like the rest of the guys, we were like solo. We would do solo stuff. And
Mm.
so like he was one of my favorites, like as far as singing. The guy was he rest in peace, my barber back in the day. He used to say, y'all heard of R. Kelly? He's like, I'm gonna call him S. Kelly because S come after R. He the next big thing. Talk about me. And I used to like do impressions and sing like R. Kelly, like
Like,
and
what
I
song
think I
could
used to
you
can
what
imitate people.
what song could you imitate R. Kelly?
Man, let me see. You say I know just what you want, and I know just what you need, girl. So let it bring your body to me. Bring your body here. I'm not as good now, I'm a little rusty, but back then I used to really study him. So I used to have it like
Wow.
that, run for run. He used to have me sing in the barbershop like every week. Ain't nobody never give me no money. But he used to put me up and singing for everybody while they was getting their haircut and stuff. I didn't even get a free haircut out of it, but I used to be the entertainment in the barbershop singing R. Kelly for real. But so he was always like one of my influences, and it was cool that when we were singing the song he had to sing, like he had to sing like choir parts, and he came around and showed us the part. And when he heard me, he was like walking past. You can hear each person if you like a choir director. Even if when people singing together, you hear each person, like you know who messing up and who's singing it right. And when he walked past me and heard me singing, and I was trying my best to sound just like him, he said, "Oh shit!" And he just looked at me like, "What the fuck? Like really, yo?" I'm like, man, I'm just a fan, Continue on what you're doing. Please continue teaching this, but I'm a fan, like vocally. his writing style, like he just would, like I said, he would say things that nobody else did listen to. I'm like, yo, no, he didn't just say that. He rewind it back to make sure you heard what you think you heard, So yeah.
What was your favorite album? Because he had, okay, let me just, I'll listen to the ones up to 20, about, so he had 12 play. Yeah, well, he had Welcome to the 90s with Public Announcement. Then he had 12 play. He had R. Kelly. He had R, the double CD. He had TP2.com, Chocolate Factory. Then when he had his trial, the first trial, he did the Happy People, You Saved Me, which was almost like
that was pretty dope.
I thought that was the direction he was going to go to. I thought, okay, he's just been released and he needed to change his direction. And then, I'm sure it didn't sell well. And I'm sure the label says, come on, man, we need you back into your raw self. Then he came with TP3, Double Up. Then he did the edition and everything like that. So, I mean, from a
can't really say a favorite album. It's like I got favorite cuts off of probably like of most of them.
What was your favorite?
I will say that I do love the older stuff more than I love the more current stuff.
Yeah,
I did love the Write Me Back one, because it seemed like he adapted to like a different style on each song. Like one song you might sound similar to something that he would have did for Stevie Wonder, and then another song he was singing almost sound like Omarion. And another song you might sound similar to Michael Jackson. So I thought that was very creative. But I was the most fan. Most people, I'm a fan of them when they first come out.
Yeah,
because that's that raw, that's that hunger. That's the songs that they had, like you said. That's the songs that they wrote in high school. Or him, I remember him saying that he was homeless at one point, so he used to sit in the subway station with a keyboard and sing. It's a special that came on BET. I seen it online, but I don't know if it stays up on YouTube because sometimes people get copyright claims and stuff comes down. But I was able to catch it once. He was in the subway singing about cheese toast, like a grilled cheese sandwich. He used to making a song about that. So like that hunger, you feel that hunger on the earliest project. So I know the R. Kelly and Public Announcement I love, and I love 12 Play like as a whole album. Like those. But then the other ones, it was a lot of creative stuff. Like who else would it come up with the whole Trapped in the Closet series and stuff like that? It got to the point where I lost track. I couldn't even keep up with all of it. The original concept was dope to me. After a while, he went left and right and up and down a couple times and lost me. But the original concept, I was definitely digging and definitely a fan of that. And so, what's the one? Sex in the Kitchen by the Butter Rose. We'll be making love till the restaurant was closed. That, man, come on, man.
Well, as I mentioned, we're talking about, because he did a lot of stuff for You're Not Alone for Michael Jackson, Contagious for the Isley Brothers, Let's Lay Together, a friend of
talking girl. That was me and my little brother used to sing that, man. That was
Let's Lay Together. A friend of mine with Kelly Price. Fortunate for Maxwell, people forget that. Life for Casey.
Life.
Live.
In case children them still sing the mess out of that, you catch them live.
Yeah, he needs help as much, because unless he gets help, other people are victimized. Because
that's one thing that I can, like identify what you said. Like sometimes people really do need help, and a lot of times, sometimes to other people, you're more beneficial. What they say, broken people. So some people are mad when you fix your brokenness because you're no longer beneficial to them. Like,
you're jingling, baby. Go ahead, daddy. You're jingling, baby. Go ahead.